All right. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome back. For those of you here, it's been some time since we did our last Facebook Live here. And of course, I won't be alone here today. I have my good friend here, Lawrence. Lawrence, you want to say hi to our friends?
Hello, everybody.
All right, and of course today, since we are doing this Facebook Live right now, and again, as usual, every single time we come on Facebook Live, we do have something to add value to y'all. So, in fact, before we introduce our guest here today, so we will be doing this Facebook Live right now, and upcoming series, we would like to have some Facebook Live to benefit the SME market, right? So, as a whole theme here today, we have a campaign called the BINA program, which is to rebuild SME here during this time. So joining us today, we are very fortunate, very lucky to have Roy, Head of Partnerships for Alliance Bank. Roy, you want to say hi to our friends?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. Very glad to be here.
Of course, we are glad to have you too, right? Especially Monday morning, but you're here joining us today, right? All right, good. So just before we officially start this session here today, so for those of you here joining this Facebook Live right now, I would like to invite all of you to just like and share this post because we would like to benefit many more SMEs out there right now. And again, when we talk about SMEs, I think it's very timely right now where unfortunately, many states in Malaysia, we are going back into MCO again. Not too sure it's a good sign or not. But here, I think on behalf of our partners right here with My Priorities, especially with Alliance Bank and so many partners that we have some of the initiatives to help SME out there. So therefore, for those of you watching, I would appreciate if you can like and share this post so that we can benefit many, many more people out there with all of us, right? Okay, so yeah, Lawrence, you want to say anything to our friends out there?
Hello, everybody. I think when was the last time we did this?
Couldn't remember, bro.
I think we came a long way from the first MCO. I think we did more than 50 or 60 of them over last year, and then of course, fortunately, we took a break after that. Because things became better. I think we all got back to our normal life, and that's why actually then we came up with this idea of doing this program together with some of our partners. But again, unfortunately, now we are all back here again because of this recent MCO that is again happening after a year. So I think I'll just do a quick introduction of what is this program all about before we bring friends like Roy in. So actually, over the past 2 or 3 months, we came up with this plan to help SMEs, to actually come up with some campaigns to reach out to SME owners around the nation. Then we, as we call it, rebuilding SMEs future together, because we realize that the businesses are badly affected over this period of time. They, of course, either close down, they lose a lot of money, or even some have to retrench a lot of people. So in BINA, actually, it is we shortened the name to BINA, which means build. So we were actually scheduled to go around the nation in the next few months, depending on the situation of the pandemic. But I would like to take this opportunity to thank our partners, namely Astro, Lembaga Hasil Dalam Negeri, LHDN, and of course Alliance Bank, which with us here today, SME Bank, Celcom, Post Malaysia, and many other partners as well. So this program is actually meant to reach out nationwide, but stay tuned to us. We will always keep you guys posted on, especially the schedule of the road shows when things become better. So I think that is a quick overview, Wesley, about BINA. And Wesley himself also will be very actively involved in BINA as well, on specifically on sales and marketing coaching. But we will roll out more information throughout the months. Wesley, back to you.
All right, so thank you so much, Lawrence, there. And so we got some friends saying hi. Ambrose, Jana, Tasmini, and Sun Orange saying good morning to you all, to Roy and Lawrence. Okay, I think before we begin here, so perhaps, Roy, would you just want to quickly introduce yourself before I have some very interesting questions to ask you. But before I go into that, so maybe perhaps you can say hi to our friends, introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. So I'm in Alliance Bank. The department that I'm in is in the area of strategic partnerships, right, and innovations. So really, the idea for us is that no man is an island. we work a lot with the SME communities. We work a lot with partners, of course, partners such as, Wesley, Lawrence, My Parentis, BINA program. So I think at the end of the day, we're building an ecosystem. And the idea of this ecosystem is that everyone has a connection to each other, and we're building relationships where we can help each other, especially in current times. So those are some of the programs that we have done quite successfully, and also that we are very enthusiastic to do, because that is obviously, in our view, the bank provides not just purely a banking product, but is able to contribute in terms of uplifting the entire community of business owners as well as SMEs. So that's primarily what I do, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm very excited to be part of this.
Right, I think it's very timely right now, where especially during this time, I run business as well, and so I think whatever that you're going to share with us today is going to be very timely, and it's going to be very helpful for a lot of us here. For those of you here who may looking to expand your business, or you may want to just enjoy some facilities and benefit from the bank, I think you should really stay tuned. So before staying tuned as well, I would like to invite all of you to like and share this post, and to share with SME friends, just share with the posts that you have, pages and the groups that so you can benefit many more people out there throughout this very short sharing that we have with Roy. So Roy, so question is, we have heard of Alliance Bank, it's out there in the market. And we have just created this campaign, BINA, from My Parentis. Now, what really attracted Alliance Bank to join this BINA campaign, and why would you want to join BINA?
Okay, so the first thing is a little bit of background. Alliance Bank has always been foremost SME bank, as in a lot of our customers are not just SME businesses, but also the business owners. So our vision is building alliances to improve lives. By doing so, we do that through the companies that have relationships with us, and also the business owners of these companies and their extended ecosystem, their employees, their families, and obviously and onwards, right? So that is why BINA is definitely in tune with our vision, right? It is helping to rebuild the SMEs, and I think that is very critical. SMEs are actually the cornerstone of our country's economy as well. So we definitely want to be part of that, given that a lot of our banking relationships are actually in the SME space. So this attracts us to BINA, and also our goals and vision is quite aligned. It's very aligned actually to what the BINA program wants to achieve. It's also programs that we have run similarly, which hopefully we can talk about a bit, how we are helping the SME community.
Yep. So thanks for that. And so you mentioned that as SME is like the backbone of the entire nation, and you specifically wanted to reach out to the SME. So in regards to this, I think so Lawrence is pretty much very well versed in a BINA campaign. I'm not too sure if some of us here actually miss out if you're coming late. So just in case those of you just joined, we'd like to appreciate you to like and share this as well. So now, Lawrence, you want to take in the next question, or you want me to go ahead? Is it?
Sure, I will. I want to add on to a bit of what Roy explained just now. That the vision and mission is aligned here on reaching out to the SMEs and helping them to rebuild. I'm going to go a bit off course here, Roy. I think in your line of work, you've been speaking to a lot of people. You meet a lot of business owners. You have spoken to
Absolutely.
them. So, can you just roughly tell us what is the situation out there now? How is it? How good or how bad is it now with the business community, with all this pandemic going on and etc.? So, what is on the ground?
Well, the thing I would say is that certainly it has not been easy, right? And I think whichever line of business you are, unless you're in a very, very specific line, where so-called in a sense that the pandemic actually has boosted your business.
Glove.
But it is, that is one very obvious one. But I think for the majority, at the end of the day, it is a challenge, right? And so we can't escape from that. But I think the main thing when we speak to many of the business owners is that the question back is, how can we contribute and how can we help? Okay, so everyone knows that what the bank offers traditionally, which we of course we offer, facilities, lending, and also banking capabilities, right? But I think beyond that, they talk about what can you offer in the context of helping me in this current situation. Okay, so when we talk to a lot of business owners, we figure out that there are a few key things. Number one, they require help in terms of searching for new business, and that's something that we took on board. Secondly, how can we improve productivity and have some cost savings? Because now is the time to be a bit tighter around the belt, but yet at the same time, I still want to continue to run my business well. And of course, the third thing is in actually coming in terms of the talent and the employees that they have, because in order for them to accelerate, especially in current times, there are a lot of new skills that need to be picked up by the employees, and this is where the SMEs says that or they communicate to say that, look, if the bank has areas that they can help in any of these areas, then we welcome to work and partner with the bank. So these are the actually the areas that we have focused on beyond I mean on top and beyond to our traditional banking products that we offer.
Right. So thanks, Roy. And so you mentioned three important key things, which I managed to note it down just now. Number one, based on your on the ground, because one thing I like is you're on the ground. So you're from the SME team, so your team basically knows what people are saying on day-to-day basis. And
Yeah.
perhaps we can also interact with some of our friends out there. So some of us say that, hey, looking great, thank you, Wesley. Yep, thank you. Shuhaida, hello, Shuhaida. Ian says hello to Wesley, hello to Lawrence as well, to all of us right there. All right, thank you,
Hello.
Sherman, Shuhaida, and Ian for joining. Okay, so perhaps just want to interact because you mentioned that specific businesses could have different impacts, some positively, some stagnant, some okay, but some are quite bad, right? So for those friends out there, perhaps can you please comment at the site? Now, what businesses are you involved in? So just type it at the site, even construction, F&B, retail, e-commerce. So just type it at the chat section at the site. So now, very curious question that you mentioned. I like this one key point: searching new businesses. Right? So new businesses, saving costs, and upskilling talent. So what can or what does Alliance Bank bring on the table to help these
Okay.
SME in these three areas?
Thank you for asking. Let me go, if I have a little bit of time, let me talk about the part about how we help to SMEs in search of new business, right?
Yeah.
The first point is a bit more of the what we call the obvious point. The bank has actually got databases. We have databases of our customers. We have databases of what we call our extended ecosystem. Now, of course, what we look for are SME partners who can actually provide good solutions for the customers that bank with us. So we are looking to connect SMEs who actually have good solutions to reach out to some of these existing customers of ours so that we can bring that benefit to them as well. So that's number one. So if an SME has good solutions and they think or they feel that they can offer this well to our base, we have a platform called BizSmart Solution. BizSmart Solution portal is actually our platform, and later I'll probably be able to type that URL in, where we actually house SMEs with solutions in there, list them there, which are then promoted to our base of SME customers or even our consumer customers to take advantage of these good solutions. Now, of course, we do curate. It is not any and everyone that we can put in. We like to work with SMEs who actually have a lot of value add that they can give in. They give good deals and offers as well. And of course, we want to know that the quality is there. So there is, of course, a level of curation, right? Because you're talking about extending these solutions to value add to Alliance Bank existing customers. But as of now, we already got 100 plus and growing solutions already on this portal, which goes to show that it's actually a very vibrant ecosystem that we currently have. So that's number one. Number two, we also help companies, right, to branch out into new areas that they may not previously have tapped. One of these is, for example, e-commerce and selling their products online. So we do bring in expertise in terms of training. We bring in again partners who are able to help a business get from physical to digital, right? To transform them from physical to digital, able to sell, make sure that they can deliver products, they can actually put up good material online. Some of these, to be fair, it has improved a lot in the past. Let's be honest, right? It has improved a lot in the past 9 months, ever since the whole MCO. The MCO was the need that drive a lot of companies online. Uh, Previous to that, online is there in the mind, but it's not the top priority. Okay, but with the MCO, it really drives the whole thing on, and so we are there to make sure that they have the right solutions, they have the right advice, they have the right capabilities and skill set to actually transform their business to online. Is one example. Another thing that we have also helped some companies, right, is to also look at their products and maybe they can how they could get them like, for example, halal certified. So that helped to open up another market, because we have a capability within our Islamic bank to help a business take from, again, you have basically got a product and you want to certify it and sell it to a halal segment. So these are some of the main examples of how we have actually been keeping ourselves busy, helping SMEs to go through this journey in order to get more business from new customer segments and also new areas that they previously did not have.
Right. So thanks for sharing. So what I caught just now was number one. So Alliance Bank existingly have an existing database pool of customer where, for those SMEs out there, good products, good service quality, good product quality, good offer, can speak to Roy, all right, and see whether you could collaborate. And the next thing is, for those of you who want to upskill, expand your business, like halal certification, you want to bring your business go digital. If you do not know how, reach out to Roy as well.
Yeah.
Right. So
It's all
interesting.
part of our BizSmart Solution portal proposition. So this is what it brings to the table.
All right. I wish I can ask you straight, what is BizSmart, and tell us more, right? But before we go into that, so interestingly, we talk about banks reach out to help SME. We have a question here, Roy. So by a friend of us called Sun Orange, interesting name. All right. Many people are only interested to speak to bank for loans. I think these are like the old mindset lah. People thought bank, credit facility, borrow money. But to be honest, when I first heard of what Alliance Bank does, I'm like, hey, I didn't know bank could do such a thing. So to me, from the perspective of business owner, it's not just a bank, but you are like an advisory, a one-stop solution that I can seek help from.
Yes.
Having said that, a question from Sun Orange, many people are interested to speak to bank for loan. How do you really plan to move out from there?
Thank you for that. Actually, it's a very, very relevant question. Very relevant, Sun Orange. The reality is there are not that many banks out there that actually approach it the way that I've just described. So it is also not wrong that many people have this perception, or many business owners and SMEs have this perception, because actually, if they were to go to, let's say, another bank or X bank, the only thing available might just be loan, right? Because they do not have other type of programs beyond some of them, right? I'm not saying all. But how do we plan to move out from there? I think the lending piece is always required, right? Because that is essentially funds or facilities in order to move the business forward. But in order for it to be used effectively, it has to be used in a way where it actually brings the maximum benefit to the business. So that's the way we look at it, because it's an ecosystem, right? I lend a company money, they go into a successful business, they will either need more facilities for expansion, or they will need a place to do cash management. They may need their employees to also have good banking propositions and benefits. And so it is, to me, an expansion of beyond just loan. lending or loan sometimes may be the first thing, or sometimes it may be even the third or fourth thing. Right? Some companies actually start with just getting more customers first. Then after that, they apply for the loan. So no longer is it just a one stop for only loan and that's the end of conversation. I believe that very strongly. We are part of the whole customer journey of the customer that we engage with. So it's every aspect, not just on the loan aspect.
I think that's a very interesting tagline, Roy. I think it's also the one of the few time I heard from you beyond the loan. But again, that part is actually fundamental for a lot of business owners. So allow me to ask you the next question, Roy. You see,
Yeah.
I think they are numerous, and there's so many things that is happening, be it inside the ecosystem or even by the government, by the banks, a lot of different types of initiatives, a lot of types of products, be it a lending product or it's not a lending product like BizSmart platform. I'm sure a lot of SMEs has also maybe got to know about this platform. What is your advice to business owners, specifically on this? We always see that there's so many of introduction. There's so many of different products, so many different things. But are our business people really utilizing it? That's my question. Are they really utilizing it? Are they really actually making good use of all these things that we have prepared for them?
Okay, that of course is a good question, right? I think the business owners are coming on board more and more to utilize. So give you another example. When we talk about the other aspect of helping them to manage their operational costs, okay? So one, we talked about the reaching new customers. We also talked about how could they manage with what, like you said, they already have. So number one, we also do a lot of work in terms of business consulting to help them look at their current loan and company financial situations. If there's a need for what we call R&R, restructuring the repayments, scheduling. These are very useful tools to extract cash flow for the business, right? So when you extend your loan, let's say you have a loan and you extend it, your cash commitments per month actually reduces, thereby allowing the business time to have that space to recover and to fight back, so to speak, against the pandemic and the economy. There are also partners that we tie up with, right, who can help to access grants. Okay, so that's the other aspect that cannot be missed out. I mean, loan is just one way to extract some cash, right? But the reality is that there are also grants, a lot of grants out there by the government to help you in your digitization efforts, which are then funded, right, or reimbursed, right? But actually, it can be a complicated process for someone who purely has only been doing business, but not so familiar with all these applications and all these process. So we understand that as well, which is why we also have partners and programs who can actually do it on behalf, right? So if you take the solution, it's actually the grants are all applied on behalf, for the business owner. So it's easy lah, so it's easier and it doesn't like everything also have to self-serve, right? So these are some of the, I think, ways where we have been helping SME owners as well, just to maximize what is already available and existing to them.
Right, thanks, Roy. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. And again, I think many people have maybe they're not aware, or even if they're aware, they're not utilizing it enough. So I think reaching out to you will be a good option. So just want to interact with our friends watching out there. So how many of you here actually are business owners in the SME scene? Perhaps if you are, perhaps I could get you all to comment the word "me" at the chat section at the side, so that we know how many of you here are actually from the SME business scene. Now we have got a question from Ui Sing Chai, but before we go into that, I think this one burning question that I have that I've been wanting to ask you and say, okay, so you have introduced a lot about BizSmart Solution and all, right? So my question to you is, so what exactly is BizSmart, and how does it benefit the SME?
Okay, so BizSmart Solution is a portal that we created last year, so that we can house all these programs that I've been talking about. So the reality is that it's actually like a community site that hosts an ecosystem of SMEs and business owners. So generally there are two categories. Sometimes some SMEs fall in between both lah. Number one, there are businesses who want to promote their products and services, which is what I spoke about, and they believe they have good solutions, so long as they are given a chance to be promoted. So what we do is we talk to these businesses and we structure like marketing initiatives. We do sometimes we have done joint webinars together. We package their solutions and we share them to some of our customers for take up. And so these are uh, uh, businesses who list themselves on the portal of a BizSmart Solution, who then get the ability to get new customers. Second will be companies who are actually looking for solutions for their business. They then come to this portal and start to browse through some of the digital solutions available, the training solutions available that we have down there. And so essentially we do the connection of this whole ecosystem within this portal. So these are the very simple objectives of BizSmart Solution. It's not overcomplicated. It's essentially out there to help SMEs get more customers, and also for SMEs to find solutions that they need for their businesses. And the solutions that are listed on this BizSmart Solution, right? They are at what we call exclusive preferential rates, which means that we negotiate on behalf a certain special, either you call it a discount or an additional package for everyone who is listing their solution there. So if you're thinking of getting something for your company, you might want to check out the solutions that are available on BizSmart Solution first, because you might be getting it at cheaper rates, right? Or some of it is already so-called approved to be reimbursed by grants.
Yep.
Right. So don't, sometimes when you just go out and say, hey, I want a solution to make a website for my company, you might just end up with, number one, someone who may not really do the best job, but secondly, might be overpay a bit because you might be entitled actually to a lower rate, right? So there are some things like this that we hope to solve for the SMEs or part of this portal.
I think thank you so much, Roy. I think that this is a very good initiative. It's also a very good way of actually consolidating. I think because there's too many service providers outside. And I think one thing I should be very proud is School of Life is also part of your Smart Solution platform. And Wesley, I hope that soon enough you'll speak to Roy. I think you've done a fantastic job on in your sales training masterclass. So you should get Vision Alliance on board as well. And yes, we do give preferential rates for your clients. So I think this is a very noble way of actually consolidating them under one platform. So, Roy, it's a very simple question. What do you think are some of the main pillars in a business? I mean, what are some of the important elements? I mean, this would be my second last question, but what do you think is important? Is it sales or is it marketing or is it finance? What is important?
I think I always start with the base, right? A strong financial position. What I mean by that is really we've seen in the recent times is essentially a strong cash flow to run. Because if you don't have that, you can have a lot of opportunities, but you lack the resources to tap it. So that's number one. Number two, I think a business needs strong partnerships. Strong partnerships, whether it's with Alliance Bank or even with other SMEs, to be part of a larger ecosystem, because then you are part of a bigger picture, and there's more strength in that numbers. So I think these are two very critical areas. The one that's obvious is, of course, everyone wants new business, right? But what I'm laying down is the foundations to how you actually get it, right? So cash financial position, very critical. Secondly, the need to have to be integrated into a lot of partnerships so that you actually exposed to more opportunities. And third, for me, I've seen some of these businesses, right? To tap on it, you also need good staff, upskill to be able to run in this new economy. If you continue to operate the business in a so-called the the many years ago type of skill set, unfortunately, it may not work, right? No matter how hard we try to make it work, because sharpening the saw, you need to have the right knife to quickly cut through the opportunity before it's taken away by someone else. So these to me are the three, and the result of these three is then that you get new business, and growth to me.
I strongly feel that these three pillars are exactly like what you mentioned, being having a strong financial position, cash flow, and then partnerships, like how we work with you and in Alliance Bank. And of course, then at the end of the day, it's all about the team as well, right? So, what are some of your very simple advice? This is the last question that I would like to have for myself for today. So, what is your advice for these business owners in terms of? I'm sure like cash flow is badly affected. I think partnerships can be forged. People can create partnerships. You can meet new people. I think in terms of staff force, you can always. I will not say you can drop the people that is not right in, but I think you can always train them. You can always reskill them, help them. You can always do something with them. So, what is your advice on? I think cash flow is the biggest challenge for business owners. So, what is your advice on this for them?
Well, I think I would say that what I say is actually what I have learned.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just start with that first. It is not like me just coming up with my own. What I've learned from my interactions with very successful business people whom I respect a lot and I've been speaking to constantly in this past ever since the MCO, right?
Sure.
The first MCO. So what I've learned is that they have been very creative and open, right, on exploring any opportunity that releases cash into the business. This could be in the form of loans, but not only that, it can be in the form of releasing cash from collateral that the company might have. It's also exploring all areas of like restructuring or restructuring financial commitments. Now, this could be in the area of existing installments. It could be in the area of keeping asset light, as well as some have even started going to more like a mobile working environment, ability to transact on mobile, rather than be stuck in a fixed office rental, right? So it's all about for them making the cost as variable as possible and not having to be tied down with very heavy fixed commitments that cannot be redistributed, right? So I think it is very humbly I learned that they act very fast on these areas, and they actually explore every single opportunity. There's no stone left unturned in this area, because they have said that, Roy, this is lifeblood, right? Minimum you must have is the lifeblood to continue moving. And anyone who can help, or any program that can help is something that needs to be explored, cannot be left unexplored. So I think that's one mint that I take away for this area. Then, other than to apply this principle of exploring every single opportunity, not just in shoring up cash reserves and strengthening financials, then they applied it into also in business opportunities, and looking at new market segments that they maybe previously did not tap, and so it moves on, right? I believe very strongly our entrepreneurs in Malaysia are actually one of the most resilient and innovative, actually. So every day we are looking at new innovations. Every day when we speak to new businesses, right, they are pivoting. and moving forward. Nobody is staying stagnant. So I think that's very good news for our Malaysian economy as well, when you have such a kind of enterprising type of businesses and business owners in Malaysia. Truly quite amazing, some of them.
Right. Thanks, Roy, for the very sharp, straight to the point, focus. I think is the exact strategy that you learn from the ground, which I think is very good. With creative and opening opportunities to release cash into the business. So I've managed to list out some of these things that you mentioned: loan restructuring, keeping your financial light, not tight. Right. So these are the things at the side. So for those of you who want to refer, I have already put it at the chat section at the side. So we have a question from Ui Sing Chai. He asked you about antique finance. How? Sing Chai, could you perhaps rephrase your question? Not exactly what question you have. Antique finance. How? Do you know what question is that, Roy? I mean, is it like a technical term for finance?
Okay, no. It's antiques and arts. I think it's
Oh,
for.
right.
I think probably I would imagine it's probably importing. It's either importing or export. Normally, antique and art, I think could be importing, right? Can get more injection of funds from overseas. Okay, I'm not too clear about the injection of funds from overseas. But I can only imagine is that probably is running either a export or import of antique and arts business, and essentially how can there be, okay, so one of the areas, for example, is that of course, depending on the cargo, the antique and art in this so-called financial term, sometimes we term it as the cargo, right? Which means that is the trade. So obviously there's probably a trade going on. So we do have, for example, programs where we evaluate the buyer and the seller, and look at probably financing the in between, what we call the inventory gap, right? So when you take in an inventory and presumably you are selling it, so whatever is that gap, is that 60 days, 90 days, or whatever. So there can be an area where financing can be put in the short term, like a trade facility or something. Again, very hard to go into specifics, but generally that is one of the areas, so that it releases cash flow in the supply chain, right? So that's one area. Another area is that if there has been a sale and there's actually an invoice and you're awaiting payment, some of these options where, whether it's with Alliance Bank or some other platform, where you can do things like an invoice factoring. So you get money faster, but at a discounted rate of the total invoice, right? Then when you actually get the invoice paid, then essentially you pay it off. So that's a discount rate you take for getting money earlier from the invoices due to you. But a lot of this has, of course, got to be evaluated, as in the supply chain, who they are, who are the evaluation of the buyer and the seller, some details in these areas. Maybe does that answer the question? I think maybe that's what I can understand from the chat.
Yeah, Sing Chai. Perhaps Sing Chai, if Roy addressed your question, just give us a thumbs up or remain okay. But you know what? I think Sing Chai more than happy if you have this conversation. You can reach out to BizSmart Solution, speak to his team, so can give you more idea and so, right?
Sure.
Because I think every single business is so unique and different. They may have their own sets of challenges. It depends on geographical factor, their own cash flow, industry, so many kind of things, right? Nature of the industry. So you can speak to BizSmart, the team, in case you want to get more clarifications and ideas. So yep, thank you, Sing Chai, for reaching out. All right. So unfortunately, I got a lot of questions I want to ask you, but you know what? Later, Lauren say, "Hey, no, right? Roy is a busy man." Oh, he's an inventor, Sing Chai. Yeah, Sing Chai, you are. Perhaps you can reach out to Roy and his team. BizSmart.
Sure. We can have maybe we can have a talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get more details. Easier to answer.
Right, correct. So reach out to BizSmart Solution. Oh, Ambrose, Ambrose, very good. Ambrose put the link for us at the site, right? Ambrose, yeah, BizSmart Solution at Alliance Bank.
Yeah. Maybe a faster way could be Ambrose. If I can request, you can put your email,
Alright.
work email, and then there can be direct contact.
So I assume Ambrose is from your team.
He is. That's why he's able to post BizSmart Solution.
Steady. All right. So perhaps Ambrose, you can maybe put your email so that Sing Chai could reach out to you and see how you all can both benefit each other.
Yeah.
All right, got many more questions to ask you, especially when we talk about cash flow, partnership, and all. Right? You know what? Unfortunately, Lawrence gives say no. Right? Roy is a busy man, right? So with that, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Roy, for your time. And to me, I personally learned on the creative part, managing your cash flow and all. But I really recommend for those SMEs to reach out to Roy and his team. All right. So Lawrence, any words that you want to share? Any final words?
No, I think it is. Thank you so much, Roy. I think you have shared what you need to in a very short period of time. But to all our viewers out there, soon enough after MCO, when we release the schedules for BINA, do join us, do see us. I think Roy will be there as well, especially those in Kuala Lumpur, Selangor. Please feel free to follow us. I think there is also, just follow us on our social media. We will release the schedules. Just join us there, and you can ask as many questions as you can. I think BINA definitely it's a different types of program that will help SME owners. I think that's all I'd like to say. Thank you so much again, Roy, for your time.
Thank you,
Right.
everyone. Thank you, Wesley, Lawrence, for having me. I look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Yep, thank you so much, Roy. And Roy, our tradition is before we say goodbye to all of us here, we will take a group picture. All right,
sure.
So what we're gonna do is that so you can just look at the camera and smile until I count 1, 2, 3, and then I'm gonna take a snapshot from my end. Okay, so ready? Oh, okay. So Lawrence, today's love, huh? Oh, okay, first one, I'm lovely today. All right. Okay, so look at the camera. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay, so done. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, Roy, for your time. Thank you so much, Lawrence. And for those of you joining out there, thank you so much. And stay tuned. We got upcoming more interesting announcements. And with that, everybody, thank you. Stay safe. And everybody, see you soon. Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.